Olaba kakati ati n'ekirala IFRIS eyamba okukuuma ebiwandiiko bya bizinesi yo kuba biyinza okubulako biyinza okukwata omuliro naye kati wano IFRIS biba biri digitalized.
Bannange nekola ntya okwewandiisa?
Kyangu nnyo waludde dda. Okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS genda ku kibanja kya URA www.ura.go.ug awo olondeko e-invoicing awo no ugoberere endagiriro. URA tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
Wala bana ifudde banzimye zempedde. Kyangu eno naawe olowooza babbi ba ku street be banzibye. Saabo kankubulire natikka ebintu byange okuva China ne bangamba neetaaga tiini namba nze nga sigirina neetuma omuntu omulala abindeetere kati ngenze mu URA baŋŋambye ebintu byange tebiri mu manya gange era si byange mbu sayina tiini namba nze kati nebya tiini namba sibitegeera. Nfudde obusete neewola bwewole ye tiini namba byebiki bannange sente zange
tax identification number oba giyite namba omusuubuzi zewandiisa muyiwala asasulira emisolo
kati ebyo nze njifuna ntya bambikola ntya
ebintu babigonza olina ndagamuntu
njirina
ogenda bugenzi ku website ya URA
www.ura.go.ug awo n'olondako e-services then n'ogenda ku tin registration awo nno woteeramu n'ennamba yo n'omwaka gwe wazaalibwamu amannya go gajja kwereeta automatically awo n'ojjuzaamu n'ebirala bitono nnyo ebyetaagisibwa ng'ennamba y'essimu yo email address yo ne gy'obeera era nga bino osobola obbisanga emabega wandagamuntu yo then n'osubmitinga nga kamesagi kajja direct ku ssimu yo mu ddakiika ntono nnyo
nga sina bannange bintu bikolera ddala bannange obugayaavu kibi omanyi nti obugayaavu bukuza muki bannange weebale Dangote bannange omponyeza omanyi ebintu byange bingi byowonyeza okubbibwa nzizeyo mu URA mbalage nti njirina.
Okubeera ne tiini namba kikuyamba mu bintu bingi nnyo okugeza mu kusuubula n'okusuubuza eby'emuguzi mu Uganda ne wabweru wa Uganda, okuddizibwa ensimbi okuva ku misolo gy'ozosasula, okufuna looni mu banka ez'enjawulo, okufuna layisinsi okuva mu government agencies zonna, okuwandiisa emmotoka yo n'okugula oba okutunda ettaka.
URA
agencies zonna, okuwandiisa emmotoka yo n'okugula oba okutunda ettaka.
URA tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
The new and simple IFRIS mobile app is here. You can now manage your stock and issue fiscalized invoices and receipts at the tap of your finger. Simply go to the Google Play or Apple Store, search for the IFRIS app, download and install it, log in with your TIN and password, and you're good to go. The IFRIS mobile app is here to make invoicing and receipting easy. Download now.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
URA sinaba kusasula musolo.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome to today's episode of Tax Mchuzi. First of all, we'd like to send our apologies for starting a little bit late. We had a few glitches, but that has been fixed, and we are here to make this happen. We have 10 days, about 10 days to the end of the financial year, and the pressure is on your side, on our side, towards making sure that we meet our obligations, to avoid any penalties and things of that nature. And to make sure that we ease this process for you, to ease your return filing process, the payment process. We have tax expert in the house, Hafsa Seguya. She's here to support you in helping you meet your end of year obligations and specifically for this particular episode, we're going to talk about the payment methods. If you want to pay your taxes, how do you do that? Hafsa, welcome to Tax Mchuzi.
Thank you and good morning, our viewers. This morning we are glad to be here once again to talk about a few things in regards to how you can pay taxes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hafsa. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And our viewers are already on there. They're already excited and ready. Yeah. So feel free to send in your questions also. We'll have a Q&A at the end. But before we get to that, Hafsa, who pays taxes? Let's just break that down for starters.
Thank you very much. Who pays taxes? Anybody who is eligible to a particular tax type. You're in business, say you're in employment, and they deduct from you and pay on your behalf. You're in a particular business or a sector, say manufacturing, depending on what you do, provided there is an income, then at the end of the day, they are taxes. However, we have taxes that are non-tax, where we are looking at the non-tax revenues like, say, driving permits. We are looking at driving permit fees. We are looking at stamp duty, looking at motor vehicle fees. All those are called non-tax. You may not be registered for that tax type, but because you need a particular facility, say a driving permit, you need to pay the fees. Maybe you need to authenticate an instrument, then stamp duty comes in handy. You need to do a motor vehicle transfer, then the motor vehicle fees come in handy. So we have different types of taxes. We even have the other non-tax revenues that we do collect on behalf of government, and we collect them on behalf of other government agencies. So when you talk about the express penalty, we collect them on behalf of police. That's under Ministry of Works. We collect other non-tax revenues. We collect court fees under judiciary. So we basically address the fees that are collectible by other government agencies, and we have a self-service platform called our web portal, where one can go and self-serve themselves, generate a payment slip, then go and pay. So that is why I needed to be very clear. You may be paying something that is not attributable to the income that you source out, but because you need a facility, that is where the non-tax comes in. That is where the other non-tax revenues may come in moving forward from the other government agencies.
Okay, nice. And you know, when you're submitting, you talked about generating a PRN.
Yes.
How does someone do that? I know it would be nice if we had like a practical thing.
Yes.
But you could just walk us through that process.
Ideally, generating a payment, you need to visit our portal. And our portal page is on www.ura.go.ug. Once you are there, you may not even need to log in any account. Okay. Just visit where we have domestic taxes. Then down there we have payments. Say they are for domestic taxes. Then under payments, it will show you, do you want to click here to generate a payment? Then once you click there, it will bring that page where you clearly tell them, is the payment under domestic taxes? You'll leave the selection there. If it's not under that, they'll ask you whether it's under NTR or ONTR, as I had said. So once you are done with that, the second section is to input your TIN, because normally when you input your TIN, you're saving yourself to fill another 5 or 6 fields, because once you input your TIN, it will auto-populate your details, your email, your phone number. Then there you would help us select which tax head you are paying for. If it's under domestic taxes, you will select, is it VAT, is it rental income tax? If it is VAT withheld, then clearly select that so that you can input the amount. Then they will help you generate that slip.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And you mentioned that sometimes you'll get an option that has ONTR or NTR.
Yes.
So what is the difference between that?
As I had initially said, when we talk about NTR, we are looking at driving permit fees, motor vehicle fees, anything paid under motor vehicle. Is it a duplicate number plate, a duplicate registration book? Is it an alteration? Is it a change of ownership? That is under motor vehicle.
Okay.
Then if it is a driving permit, do you need a new one? Is it a provisional? Is it an extension you're adding in a class? Is it an exchange? You might have one from another country and then you need to exchange it for a Ugandan one. All that is under driving permit fees. Then the other under NTR is stamp duty. You may be declaring an instrument, whether ad valorem, we have rates ad valorem and fixed, depending on what kind of instrument it is, then ideally it will auto-populate. Because normally for stamp duty, you don't need to input the amount. It auto-populates because it fills what you want to do.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you, Hafsa. And do all URA payments, do they always need a PRN?
Exactly. For accountability.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't use the USSD code.
Yes, when you use a USSD code, along the way, it will ask you, are you paying with an existing PRN or you do not have a PRN? If you select number 2, you don't have a PRN. It will lead you to that same page to help you generate the PRN. So PRN is basically a payment registration number that helps us in reconciling these payments, where they are supposed to go, so that at the end of the day, we are placing them in the right tax types. Yes. Okay. And if they're for other government agencies still, we need to make an accountability of what has been received on their behalf. Okay. Yes.
And let's talk a little bit more about the USSD code.
Yes.
Because, some people might, not have access to internet or things like that, but they still want to make some payments using the phone and the USSD code.
Yes.
What are the possibilities with the USSD code? How much can I get done?
First of all, USSD code will help you address a payment via mobile money, but still on a simple phone, these small button phones. Yes, that's the right word. So what you need to do is to at least, one, have your TIN, in case you don't have the PRN, have the TIN closer to you. If you already have a PRN and you just want to make it good, but paying it up, then that is even okay. Secondly, with USSD, ensure that you have monies on your mobile number. Whether Airtel or MTN, it's well. And ensure that you have at least some small monies for the charge for this message, because it's a message that has to go through normally as you would send any other message. So you will start with *285#. Just imagine you have some small monies on your phone. You just go clearly and say star. Let's go through it quickly. *285#. Then you select, if you have 2 lines, select which line has that small money and has the money we are going to deduct from. Then once we do that, it will give us another menu, a pop-up window. Welcome to your self-service. It will ask you 1, TIN services, 2, make payments, 3, rental tax, 4, presumptive tax, 5, income tax for borders, then 6, income tax for motor vehicle, or you go to next. So here, since we are making a payment, we'll click on number 2, then we will say send. It will bring another, this is what I exactly telling. When it says make payments, 1 will ask you pay with existing PRN. That means you already generated it and you just want to make it good. Then 2 tells you generate PRN and pay. That means you cannot make any payment without a PRN. So here, if you want to generate, you can go to 2. Then it will automatically ask you taxes and dues, license and fees, or back. When it says taxes and dues, ideally these taxes are what we do collect. The duties will be these ones. Maybe you're paying import duty or whatever it is. Then number 2 are licenses and fees. These are for other government agencies in most cases. Then what you select here, if you select 1, taxes, then you send. Still, it will return and ask you what is your TIN. As I said, let your TIN be nearer, because with taxes, we need to identify you with your TIN, because it's the unique identifier in our register. So once it returns up another page, select tax to pay. Is it individual income tax, corporate income tax, value added tax, pay as you earn, gaming, rental income? So here you can say maybe rental income and you say number 6. So it's going to ask you how much. Maybe you're paying 50,000. Ensure that the money is already on your mobile line.
Yeah.
Then we do send. Then we wait for it to return whatever page it returns. But here we are going into the normal mobile money, whatever. Enter tax period in this format. Here it's asking you enter the month. Say, for example, I'm looking at June. Then I'm looking at the year. Which year is it? Maybe I'm looking at 2023. Maybe I'm paying. Then I say send. So once I say send, okay, here it has returned an error. But once I say send, it will go and create the other mobile money interface where it's asking you to input the PIN. Exactly. Okay. Because it has to take money from your account and place it on to the URA account for this PRN to reconcile. Yes.
Nice. That's quick and easy. Very quick.
You do not need to leave your business to come and pay. Just ensure the money is here, the tin is with you, it's handy. Either you have a payment slip, ensure you have it, because at a certain time you'll need to get the PRN, the payment registration number, and key it inside.
Okay.
Yes, if you say I'm paying with existing PRN, then the system needs to get the PRN number. Yes. Okay.
So this even works for, let's say, the police has stopped you and what?
Exactly. Express penalty, you can do it.
Okay.
Instantly.
That's a nice one.
Yes.
So beyond mobile money, what other modes can people use? Can I use my Visa card?
Ideally, beyond mobile money, yes, we have the traditional payment over the counter, where you used to go with your slip. Then you go and line up in the bank and wait wait for a certain teller to come and receive it, give them cash, then they will definitely reconcile it in the system, then they'll acknowledge on your slip. That is another one. Then you can choose to pay with your check. If you have a check and you're giving URA a check, ensure that the monies are on the account, give us a check, then we will bank it and see how it will reconcile. Then maybe the other is EFT. If you want to transfer monies from your account to your URA's account, you can use the electronic fund transfer, that is transferring those amounts to the URA account. But you should bear in mind with EFT, it will take about 2 to 3 days to reconcile. So bear in mind that that has to happen. Then we equally have the RTGS in case you want the amounts to reconcile in real time. Then we use the real-time gross settlement. It settles this amount in real time. The amount, the time you give it a command in real time, it will reflect the payment on the URA side. Then maybe we also have payway. You look for where there is a payway machine. Ensure you already have a payment registration slip that has a payment registration number. Then it will help you go with the cash. Then it will help you conclude that payment.
Okay, nice. So there's really no excuse. We're covered on all fronts.
Exactly, we are covered. There is no excuse because once we have the USSD code, so the button phone holders are already covered, because normally the button phone holders have issues when it comes. They'll tell you, my phone is not a smart one and the bank is a little far, and they have many excuses. So now we are done with the excuses.
Try to support them as much as we can. Okay. Then how about in case I lose my PRN? How do I make my payments?
In case you've lost the PRN
before payment.
Before payment. Ideally, if you lose the PRN before payment, you can retrieve the PRN, the number itself on the PRN. You can go to any nearest URA office and you just give them the TIN. They help you retrieve it, then you use it to pay. And in case you lose it after payment, it's still okay, because the payment channel you used has already given you an acknowledgement. And secondly, in our ledger reconciliation, we will reconcile the PRN as having been honored by the bank. So either way, you cannot fail to see that you get there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. At this point, for those who have questions, we'll take them. But if there is no questions, Hafsa, what are your final words of advice to our taxpayers as we build to 30th June.
Yes, as we build to 30th June, kindly ensure that you make good the payment that is outstanding, because normally when a payment is outstanding for longer, it will pick interest along the way, because unpaid taxes are debt to government. That means government owes you that money. So ensure that you try and see how you can make it good. But in the event that you have hardship here and there, we have the installment payment arrangement. Kindly come over to your tax office, write and tell them I want to pay in installment. We have a standard form that we do generate from the system. You fill it and tell us how many installments and how you want to make them good and in which tax types, so that we can enter it in the system. We run it in the system so that it gets its approval from the in charge of that department. Once it gets the approval, then you can keep paying in installment. As you're working, you are clearing the debt slowly by slowly.
Okay, nice,
Yes.
nice. Thank you, Hafsa. We have a question that's coming in from X. Kiza Yusuf is asking, someone sold me a car, which is an old car a long time ago, and now I can't find her. How can I change making a transfer?
Thank you very much. Somebody sold you a car some time back, and you did not do the change of ownership. One, I would like to first advise you, whenever you happen to buy a car again, know that you are given 14 days in the Traffic and Road Safety Act to ensure that this vehicle changes names. Because one, you are holding that vehicle, but it's like they have lent it to you. You're not the owner, because you're not the registered owner in the URA system. Then nobody knows you. You cannot even apply for a duplicate number plate. You can't apply for a duplicate registration book. Okay. You can't even apply for an alteration. You can't use it as collateral because it's not in your names. So you have issues whenever you want to use this car as collateral. You need to go back to that same person. But to cut the long story short, we have what we call the court order process. The court order process is where you have failed to get in touch with the registered owner. For any reason, I don't know. One, you need to go and advertise in the papers, calling that particular person to help you transfer vehicle number, UB, whatever that, or UA that. So this advert has to run for at least 14 days to circulate so that people can see the newspaper advert. And kindly, if we send newspapers, it's intentional. Don't advertise in a tabloid. We want a newspaper so that we can, it's formal, it can circulate in the right direction. Then after getting that advert, you need to bring this vehicle for inspection. We do inspect this vehicle to actually confirm whether what we have in the system is what we have physically seen. And secondly, to confirm that it can move and go maybe to the nearest URA office. We charge you an inspection of 12,000 shillings as inspection fees that you pay in the bank, normally with a PRN. Once you have gotten these two, then you need to come to URA. We do interview you. We carry out an interview. You come with your national ID. We want to actually see what you would call a statutory declaration is what we do here. To actually see you, tell us circumstances, why you failed and what you have done to ensure that you look for this person. Then we record the interview. You sign, we sign. That is another. Then ensure that your identification, and here it should be a national ID, is attached. And you do append a signature, you put your contact there. Then the third, all these documents plus the logbook of the vehicle you have, you take them to court, and court has to look at them. Then court will finally issue what we call a court order. It will order URA if it is satisfied with the contents in the document. It will order URA to transfer this vehicle, having you failed to get this person because you looked for the person and you have failed. So URA will finally issue a court order telling us to transfer the vehicle because the owner is absent and maybe we can't get the owner. So on all these, The court order is a final document that you will come with these documents. Then you take them to URA. Now it is Ministry of Works. If we're in Kampala, we sit with Ministry of Works. Where motor vehicle licensing office was in Nakawa, it's where Ministry of Works is. You take them to Ministry of Works, and Ministry of Works entertains the owner, you the intended owner, because the registered owner is absent. Then you kickstart the process from there. You'll pay 84,000 as transfer fees if it's a small car. If it is a commercial vehicle, you'll pay 104,000 as transfer fees. But for a commercial vehicle, it may pick advance income tax at that particular time. Looking at whether it's a goods vehicle, we look at the tonnage it can carry. And every ton goes for 50,000. So you can do the arithmetic there. And if it's a passenger vehicle, we look at seating capacity. So for seating capacity, it is 20,000 per seat. So most of these vehicles say taxis are about 14 seaters, so it will pay 280,000. So all these put in place, we'll be able to change that vehicle to an e-logbook in your names.
Okay.
Yes.
Yusuf, there you have it. I think Hassa has been very elaborate. It has been, very, I think you've been helped. Thank you for watching the show. Hafsa, at this point, we're going to wrap up your final remarks, and we'll finish.
Yes, I would like to thank our viewers this morning for having spare time to listen to us, learn with us, and maybe to remind you, kindly send us that penny. We are closing the year. Kindly give us what is outstanding as per your tax position or your ledger. Give us what is outstanding so that as you start the year, you start on a clean slate. And secondly, we do not need to institute any recovery measures once the monies are not collected. Kindly do so. In case of any help, get to any nearest URA office, or you can call on our toll-free number 0800 11 7000. 0800 21 7000. You can even go on WhatsApp on 772 14 code 0. You can get help from there. As we close the year, we are eagerly waiting for you to see where your challenges are so that we could solve them, so that your compliance is at its best. Thank you very much, and have a blessed week as we move on, and a blessed weekend for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Hafsa. You're always amazing. To our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching Tax Mchuzi. And if you know someone else who has not been able to tune in right now, feel free to share with them the link. This show is recorded, so they can always watch and rewatch. And please do feel free to watch some of our other shows. We have Orubimbi, Ebanguliro. We have Ones to Watch. You have a lot of content that is going to be very, it's both educational, but it's also entertaining. So yeah, do indulge. And we encourage you, we have a WhatsApp channel coming up. So look out for that. Feel free to give us a follow when you see that. And until next time, see you. Bye-bye.